Coaches Lounge right now, because we're going to bring this king on. And as I always say, I have to bring on these wonderful, wonderful coaches the right way. So here we go.
Oh my God, Barbara, that was beautiful. Thank you. You are an angel.
David, I don't know. I mean, you're being really nice right now, but I was like, I said, I couldn't believe I have this celebrity on my show. Thank you so much. I mean, this is an honor.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned something earlier. When you are in alignment with people like Jenny McCarthy and Oprah, as you mentioned, Barbara, you're probably further ahead than you could ever imagine. Those statements that, I'm reaching, I'm going, I'm there, type of a thing is absolutely what we all need to be doing as we do the work to get there. But I just love the way you reflected upon yourself saying, I'm not Oprah yet, but I'm going there. Jenny McCarthy is probably one of the most incredible individuals I've ever met in my life, Barbara. And, people think of her as a Playboy, a model, and they think of her as, the host of The Masked Singer now, which she's gained huge acclaim for. But what they don't understand is, and I've been in this business for 43 years as a counselor, master life coach, radio host, TV host, all that kind of stuff, right? Jenny McCarthy, by far, is one of the top 2 individuals I've ever been interviewed by. She is a pro. She's an amazing businesswoman. She's funnier than heck. She's absolutely gorgeous, but her gorgeousness does not even touch her heart, soul, passion to help people. And I will give Jenny all the credit in the world. Our first #1 best-selling book, ironically enough, called Positive Thinking Will Never Change Your Life, but this book will. She actually was on the radio with me. I was on her show as a guest, and she said, David, I've always been a huge fan of The Secret and the Law of Attraction. And in your book, you're saying that it takes a heck of a lot more than those 2 things. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to sell me. And at the end of 3 minutes, if you sell me, I will tell my 3 million people listening that you are the rock star of positive thinking. And at the end of 3 minutes, if I still am going to hold on to my affirmations are going to bring me everything I want in the world and all that kind of stuff, then I will tell you, thanks for coming on, but I'm going to stay with my own stuff. After 3 minutes, you can imagine what happened. She stopped the race. She goes, okay, enough. And she turned to the mic, Barbara, and she said, ladies and gentlemen, I have been totally wrong.
Wow.
In everything I've been telling you about how to create success. David Essel, by far, is the new leader of the positive thinking movement. And Barbara, it was so profound because of her position in society, right? To be so humble and so vulnerable and to raise her hand and say, guys, I've been teaching you the wrong stuff. And, I had to do that in 1996, Barbara. I had for 18 years, I had taught the law of attraction. And this is before The Secret came out. The law of attraction has been out since about the 1600s, by the way. And there's part of the law of attraction that's true. But the way we teach it in our country, it's a bunch of crap. Whatever you put out into the universe must return in kind, right? So you say I'm a millionaire, you become one. Come on now. Barbara, you would not have a position in this world. I would not have a position in this world if that worked. People wouldn't need inspiration, motivation. They wouldn't need experts and teachers and leaders and healers because all they'd have to do is throw this out to this so-called universe and they'd be healed, or they'd have 6 houses in Tahiti or whatever the heck these people tell you can get, right? So, Jenny got real. She got down. She stripped her small ego. She said, I was wrong. Are you kidding me? A celebrity and 3 million listeners saying I'm wrong. How many people do that, Barbara, right?
Wow. That is, That's amazing. That's amazing, David.
Yeah.
And just because she's like, oh boy, okay, here we go. I got to admit this. and
Exactly.
And you know what? I was just going to say, David, before you move on with your story, I'm glad that she did, because everybody's going down this, like you said, this wrong road. And you just was like, no, this needs to get fixed. And I'm going to sell her in the 3 minutes, because this needs to get put out there to all the people that she know, all the millions of people.
Yeah.
So for all that, just, yeah, like you said, that was like the turning point for everybody, that you came on, you sold her on that. You told this is how it's supposed to be. She's like, oh my God, I'm wrong. Let's just get this out here. So
Right.
yes, it all came to fruition. So that's wonderful.
And Barbara, you know, in my experience for those 18 years, you know, I woke up every day saying I'm a millionaire. I had signs all over my house, you know, that I own homes in Tahiti and Bali and blah, blah, blah. And in 18 years, it never came true. Not one of those things came true by putting these posters on the wall, by spending all this time writing affirmations and speaking affirmation. Now, I will say this, 20% of our massive success in life will come from having a powerful, optimistic attitude. Absolutely. But listen to the percentage, 20%. 80% will come from you doing the work you'd rather not do today. Let me slow that down. 20% of your success, big success. I'm not talking about waking up in the morning. I'm talking about actually doing something big, right? 20% will come from your attitude, you know, your belief in yourself, your determination, your perseverance against all odds, knocking down mountains that we all have to face. 20% of your success will come from your thought process. And what we ask people to do in all of our counseling and coaching programs is to spend the first hour of every day electronic free. The first hour of every day, no news, no social media, no texting, no email, no nothing. The first hour, actually, I believe in holding freaking books, real paper. I believe in getting up in the morning and journaling. I believe in getting up and meditating, praying, or whatever's in your wheelbox, right? Like I really believe that first hour, electronic free, sets the tone for the day. And if you do it correctly, you don't have to worry about saying affirmations throughout the day. You don't have to worry about, you know, hoping that something's going to come through. You've already done the work in your mind and with the spiritual sense. Now, the next 80%, if you do what you'd rather not do, that's what the superstars, that's how they get successful. If you do what you'd rather not do. And let me go back to Jenny McCarthy. I was on her show like 5 times after that first one. And we got to talking about success and mindset and all this stuff. And I said to her, after your modeling days, you know, what was your business like? You know, how did you do? And she said, David, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I got lazy. I was getting all of this stuff thrown to me, and I'm, you know, being very successful. And then I'm moving into comedy and I'm doing different things. But then I just sort of took my foot off the gas, and people would call me, and she was in Chicago at the time living. And she said, people would call me from LA and say, hey, we want you a part of a project. And I go, you know, I don't feel like traveling this week. And then a couple weeks later, you know, someone would call from Miami and say, hey, Jenny, we want you to come down here and do Miami. And she go, you know, that's just a pain traveling. And as she stopped doing the work, her career started to dip. Wow. And then she said, David, then I asked her, what recreated Jenny McCarthy? Like, what did you do? And she said, I started doing everything I didn't want to do. I realized that I needed to say yes, even if it was uncomfortable. And David, that shattered everything. And then all of a sudden I went from this Playboy model to where's Jenny McCarthy to where's Jenny McCarthy not? It was from doing the work that she didn't want to do, Barbara. And it's a great lesson for all of us.
Yeah, definitely, David. Now, I want to just, you know, because I know you've been doing this for a long time. I mean, you're just the expert of experts here. But I always know that there's a story. There's always a story. That I was saying with Ann and Malone when I was, you know, talking to them. So your story, because I know you just didn't wake up saying, okay, I'm this positive and I'm going to, you know, show the world and all that. So where did it start from? Where did you just say, I need to do this? This was a must for you.
Well, it started really young. You know, we are all given gifts, you know, and a lot of us are embarrassed to say what our gifts are. And other people don't even know what the heck their gifts are. But, you know, as a little kid, I was always a leader. You know, I mean, this was my role in life. In sports, you know, I played basketball Division I at Syracuse University for 2 years, and I was a leader on the court. I ran the team in high school, ran the team in elementary school, ran the team. So, you know, it was a natural sort of lead in for me to become either a teacher, which I thought I was going to go to college for being a teacher, but after spending an internship with junior high kids, I ran. I ran out of that profession. I go, oh, no. I'll be in jail. I will not put up with this crap, So, and
so glad you ran, David. So glad you ran.
I am too, Barbara. It was the best move I made, But being that leader, I've always wanted to be ahead, and I've always wanted to tell people, hey, listen, you can do this, because when I played basketball at Syracuse, I was a walk-on. I did not get a scholarship. The odds of making a Division I school as a walk-on are infinitesimally small. Even 43 years ago when I played basketball there, it's very hard without a scholarship to get a position on a major basketball team. And yet, I use that, my determination, my willingness to do whatever it took. And the coaches came up to me, after the tryouts and said, against all odds, Essel, against all odds, you're on this team. And it was true. I was probably one of the shortest guys at 5'11" on the team. But, I didn't let any of that disturb me, Barbara. I had a goal. I had a dream. I accomplished it. Now, after 2 years, I just simply wasn't good enough. I just couldn't keep up with the talent underneath me. So my junior year, the coach came to me. His name was Roy Danforth. The current coach, Jim Boeheim, who's been there for 42 years, was an assistant. But Roy Danforth came to me and said, Essel, we've got a position for you on, for the next 2 years. You can play as a junior, you can play as a senior. And I was ecstatic, Barbara. And then he really put the nail down. He said, but the odds of you getting in a game are extremely rare. I need you in practice to push the stars, but you're probably not going to play. I'm giving you 24 hours to make a decision. If you want to have that, you've got it. And I went and talked to my roommate, Jake. I'll never forget it, even though it was a long time ago. We spent all night long talking. And I went in the next day and said, Coach, I can't do it. And the reason why, Barbara, was because, in any level of basketball, but Division I, you are devoting your life to the court, to the sport. And then you've got school on top of that. And, you're practicing 7 days a week during the season and off season. I mean, it's just 365 days. And I made a decision that I couldn't put that much effort into this sport anymore if I wasn't going to even be able to get on the court. Now, some people may say that I backed away from an opportunity, and they would be correct in some ways, right? But I followed my heart. The leadership part of me never left. So I got a master's degree in sports psychology and worked with athletes and health and fitness people from 1979 to 1989. And then in 1990, I blew it out in many different ways. Probably the most challenging thing I faced in 1990 was a failed suicide attempt. I had planned on taking my life. I had reached some very deep lows. I had undiagnosed generalized anxiety disorder, undiagnosed clinical depression, undiagnosed ADD, undiagnosed ADHD. I was a mess. Now, I had covered it up for many years with alcohol and workaholism. And when you use substances to cover up your fears, angers, insecurities, or whatever, you can do it for a while, but then you're going to snap. I used workaholism. I was putting in 70, 80, 90 hours a week easy in the first 11 years of my career. And then, but here's the blessing. The failed suicide attempt made me face me, made me look in the mirror, that I am not invincible, that I needed help. And I reached out and I got amazing help. And 12 months later, I was back on my feet. Now, it was not easy at all, but that then pushed me into the world of general counseling. And since then, I have been a massive mental health advocate. I mean, off the charts mental health advocate. And in our work, we have a brand new certification, the mental health and master life coach certification, because we want to create, Barbara, a small army of certified mental health coaches. We've been certifying coaches since 1996, all over the world. Thousands upon thousands of people have gone through our certification. But we created the mental health and master life coach certification for the times we're in right now. And if I can share some statistics to tell you how important this is for coaches, I don't care if you've been certified by other people. If you really want to make a difference, get with our mental health certification for this reason. The American Psychological Association came out about 4 months ago with these statistics, which are absolutely mind-blowing. 79% of Americans reported they have no idea on how to deal with the stress, the addiction, the frustration, the financial challenges, the job loss, the home loss. They have 79% of Americans have no emotional coping skills for the pandemic. Loss of loved ones, grief. I lost my mom and dad in the last 12 months. The most difficult several years of my life. They were in hospice for a number of years, and then they both finally passed away a year apart from each other in the last year.
Wow.
And one of the things that I went to, and of course I've been sober for a very long time. No challenge there whatsoever. But what I had to do was rework my grief program and use it on myself. And that's what we teach in this new certification. People, Barbara, are grieving over the loss of jobs, pets, relationships, homes. So we created this certification because we really know that the mental health arena is so underserved. I've been on television constantly for the massacre in Texas, at the elementary school, Robb Elementary, for the massacre at Top Supermarket, the racial massacre in Buffalo, New York. And I am screaming for sensible gun laws. I've joined NBA coach Steve Kerr. We were on a television show, separate places, but we were together on the same TV show, screaming for sensible gun control and screaming for more mental health help, which again, is one of the reasons we created the certification. We're even keeping the certification at half off right now because I know a lot of people want to do this, but the money isn't there. So we're going to help people in every way we can, Barbara, just like I have my whole life. But, again, this is going back to something that God gave me. God gave me the leadership abilities. Of course, when you're given that gift, you can always improve upon them, which I have. But that's something that was just a gift. I write this is just so crazy to tell you the connection here. But, my last 5 books I've written in 48 hours.
Wow. See, that is amazing. But David, I got to put a pin for that because I need to go back to what you said, how important it is. I keep telling people mental illness is real. It is real. And a lot of times people, I've been noticing, I don't know where they're not thinking, that they think they're not taking it serious like they really should. That's why I'm so glad and proud that you are putting that certification out there to people we need more people like that to get that certification so we can get people help. But you were talking about losses like job losses, people losses. Well, in the pandemic, first of all, sorry for your mom and dad, for that. But I know last year I lost 13 family members in 3 months. In 3 months' time, David, I lost 13 family members. Some people are still looking at me saying, how are you still doing what you do? Right. And then I thought about what you said about the workaholism, where that's been my take. I've used that a lot. And I had to stop myself. I just told myself, wait a minute, Barbara, you're working all this hours, you're doing all this for everybody else, you're doing on these shows and everything else. You need to slow it down, else something's going to happen to you. And that's why I'm just feeling what you're saying. You are so true and right about that. It is like we just got to scream it out loud about the mental wellness.
Yeah. And, through the workaholism that you've fallen prey to and the workaholism I've fallen prey to, even if we're doing work to help the world, we still are lacking self-care if we're workaholics. We really are. Going back to the American Psychological Association study, I mentioned 79% of Americans have no clue how to handle the stress going on, which we cover in the certification. 40%. Now, I think this is way underreported. In our private practice, it's 70 to 75%. But according to their survey, 40% are struggling with anxiety and or depression at very deep levels right now. Barbara, we see that as huge. We see it more like 70%. And we can prove it with the number of people that are coming in with food addiction, sex addiction, alcohol addiction, pot addiction, prescription drug addiction. Over the last couple of years, we've seen and I work in the world of addiction recovery. We've seen a massive increase in all these areas of addiction. And then the last thing that they said, I'm only going to mention 3 of the bullet points, but the third bullet point was, and this is again mind-blowing, 80% of couples in the United States of America said their relationship has never been worse than it is right now. And again, in the course, we do relationship work, the certification. So we really have, again, and I'm not bragging, and please, no one take this as a brag, but as a leader, we have to be looking at not just the present, but we have to be looking at the present and saying, how can I alter the future with what I know right now about the present? And that's when we created the certification. The other thing we created, speaking about the pandemic, and this is absolutely free, is a program called Helping Americans Heal and the World. Now, it's a free program. They can go to talkdavid.com and sign up. Instantly, they're going to get our #1 best-selling book on positive thinking, the one that changed Jenny McCarthy's mind. And then every week, Barbara, they're going to get an email. And in the email will be interviews like this one. This one's going to be part of Helping Americans Heal when we get it from you. There'll be interviews. There'll be articles. There's a video on sleep. There's a video on financial freedom. There's a video on meditation. There's a free subscription to an addiction recovery online magazine that is the best in the world. So Helping Americans Heal, something else that we created for absolutely free. We're investing millions of dollars into these programs, Barbara, because we know that the government cannot do this. The government is not equipped in the world of mental health, and they have admitted they're not equipped. And so we believe that it's everyday citizens like myself that need to be thinking of programs, some free, like Helping Americans Heal. So there's no objection. You can't say, well, I can't afford this, or I don't have time for it. Yes, you can afford it because it's free. And yes, you have time because you get one email a week chock full of information to help us go to that next level. And then, of course, the mental health and master life coach certification. But this is just what we do. And if you're a leader right now, which I know you are, if you're watching Barbara's show, what I want you to do is look at your present moment. Look around at your clients. Look for patterns. We found the pattern of mental health just like that 3 years ago. And so, look, you may find a pattern that goes into your wheelhouse with weight loss, or you may find a pattern that goes into your coaching program with financial advice during the pandemic. Whatever your expertise is, be a leader. Come out with a program that's fresh. Don't keep reusing old crap. Too much has changed in this world for you to be using a program you created pre-pandemic. We've got to be creating programs right now to prepare ourselves for the post-pandemic, if it ever leaves. And if it doesn't leave, you need to be teaching your clients how to deal at the highest level with the pandemic. Don't shy away from mental health. Don't shy away from using the term pandemic health or pandemic finances or pandemic relationships. Get fresh. Take a weekend. Jot your notes down. Come up with a new program. Come on, we've got to do this as a country. Coaches, counselors, therapists have to all be working together, Barbara.
Yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, David. The soapbox, I can hear it. It's like your passion. I'm loving it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I love this show so much that I created, to bring on people like you to wake up. Basically, wake up. I didn't want to curse, but wake up. But David, I want to, because I know with time, but I want to give you 30 seconds. I want you to leave whatever you want to leave, and then I'll bring back up so they basically know where to contact you, get the certification, whatever that that they need from you. So I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm so glad that you're taking the time for your self-care, for you to listen to Barbara and all of her wonderful guests, and to take notes. One of the things I always tell clients is that take notes when you're watching a Zoom or you're watching an interview like this. Join me. Be one of the leaders. Become certified with our mental health and master life coach certification. As I mentioned, I've been certifying coaches since 1996. Now we've leveled up. We recreated this entire mental health and master life coach certification for these times. You will walk away so prepared. You will walk away so ready. And as most of you know, coaches are earning right now between $50 and $250 per hour. And that's going to go up because the need for certified coaches is off the charts. Then also our free program, Helping Americans Heal. Join it, share it. We're giving away 500,000 memberships to this online program, and you can be right there. Get the information, make the life changes, share it with your clients, your family, whatever you need to do, but act. All you have to do is go to talkdavid.com. Everything you need is there.
Thank you so much, David. Get into the positive thinking movement. Mental health, yes.
Yes.
I had to put that out there.
I
So
love
David,
it.
I love talking to you. I love that you've been on the show, and I love having a celebrity in the house. I'm just gonna be frank.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
So thank you so much. And I welcome you anytime if you want to shout to the rooftops, whatever else you're gonna be doing moving forward, because I know that you just like that locomotive.
Yes.
Please, reach out to me. I'll reach out to you, and then we'll make it happen. Because, like I said, I like to help give the people visibility so they know what needs to be done. And you are that particular person that.
And Barbara, as soon as this is ready, we'll send it out to our complete email list so they get a chance to see you and I working together, and how we are both in so alignment on these topics. So listen, you keep going forward, baby. You're rocking this world, and I want to see you again as well.
Yes, thank you, Debbie.